First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming, to Master Sakya Dzogchen, homage to His Eminence the 16th Dharma King Karmapa, and homage to Master Thubten Dorje. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, the Golden Mother of the primordial Jetpon, and the tiger head Vajra. Sumu, Tanzan Katso Rinpoche, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, temple directors, and all disciples present here and over the internet, and our participating VIPs today. From the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Republic of China, Taiwan, Secretary General Daniel Liao and Madam Liao, Dharma Sister Judy. Accountant to Trooper Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa and her husband Larry. The Law Advisor to the Trooper Foundation, Dharma Sister Jennifer Zhou and her family. From CTI TV Taiwan, the producers for the Geni Gensang Shinton, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiachi, Dr. Dzogchen, Dr. Ryan Zhuang, and the wives of the former director of the Overseas Credit Warranty Fund of Taiwan, Ms. Vivian Sip. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? How do you do? In Taiwanese and Cantonese. Today we had the Homa of Golden Mother. As we were observing the Homa fire, we need to remember that during Homa we need to be fire and no smoke. And this time we had 2 smokes without fire twice. That meant there would be 2 great calamities. And then 3, there were 3 noises in the Homa fire pit. 3 bangs, 3 sounds, which means 3 small calamities. So I don't know what these 2 great calamities and 3 small calamities signify, but I know there would be 3 great calamities and 3 small calamities and 2 great calamities that will happen in the future. And I hope that Golden Mother can transform them, alleviate them. Because in performing Homa, you need to observe the fire. If there is smoke during the fire, you need to eradicate right away. So that's why I kept pouring alcohol into it, so that the fire would come back out. But even after I did that, for quite a long time, the smoke was still there. So that meant the calamity would last a long time. And there would be 2 great calamities because it happened twice. So in performing Homa, it is best not to let it smoke. Every one of you, when you do Homas, you don't want any smoke coming out because that would mean calamities. And then inside the Homa fire pit, there shouldn't be any distinct sounds, any unusual sounds. Did you hear it? And there were 3 times. That meant 3 small calamities. So this is in terms of the calamities. So I immediately prayed to Golden Mother to eradicate the 2 great calamities and the 3 small calamities. Once the calamities are eradicated, you transform the suffering into happiness, transform the darkness into brightness, and transform the calamities into auspiciousness. So in performing homas, we need to pay special attention to this. Especially today, it's Golden Mother's homa, and it manifested the path, the future path, your future paths. So she needed to transform the 2 great calamities and 3 small calamities. If they're not transformed, then you cannot get away from these calamities. That's what I saw today. It is unavoidable. So in performing Golden Mother Homa today, the most important thing is to transform the calamities. She had to show the calamities for us to see. One is extremely great calamity, and the other one was also quite huge calamity, and 3 smaller calamities. Very rare that we would have bang sound inside the fire pit. So what made it happen? Beads, glass beads, or pearl beads. I've told you before never to throw the beads into the fire, and sometimes they would burst, and then if it hits the skin, it would make a burn on the clothes, and it made sounds, bang, and the pieces would break apart and burst. And if it gets to your clothes, it would create holes. And it got to your skin, it would burn and melt your skin, and you cannot take it away. And then it would become an everlasting mark on your face if it hit your face. So please never throw pearls into the fire pit. Was it pearls? So it's the beads on Golden Mother's crown? Oh, they were like Golden Mother's small crowns that was thrown into the fire pit. Remember, never throw pearls into the fire. And it was bursting that everybody ran away because it would be really painful and it would stick to your skin. It would be really painful. So there were 3 bangs, 3 sounds, and 2 smokes. Oh no. That's about it. With 2 great smokes like that. Typically, we don't have that. We almost never had that. And today we had this Golden Mother Homa, and there was this really bad smoke. Oh no, everything is fated. If it's in the fate, they'll be here. If they're supposed to come, they'll come. If they're supposed to die, they'll die. If they're not supposed to die, they won't die. That's all in the destiny. As we all know, Golden Mother is our main deity, our personal deity, our yidam. And my first yidam, the yidam that helped me open my divine eye, that's always alongside me. In Buddhism, there is no Golden Mother mentioned in Buddhism. Only in Chinese Buddhism, there is Golden Mother. In Donghuang, the caves, there was the Donghuang Gong, which is the king of the Eastern Palace, and then Golden Mother, the sovereign of the West. One on the east, one on the west, in the west. And the auspicious light youth, the three of them are together. So the Eastern Palace, the sovereign of the West, Golden Mother, and the auspicious light youth, which is Padma Kumara, or the Lotus youth. So it is destined that I'm together with the Golden Mother. It is destined that I'm together with the Emperor God of the East. And in Taoism, it's called Yu Chen Jun. Yu meaning jade, Chen meaning dawn, the morning, the dawn, and Chun meaning gentleman, the jade dawn, venerable, and also Golden Mother and the auspicious light youth. They're together. And the east belongs to the element wood, and the west belongs to the metal or gold. That's why she is called Golden Mother. And Mu Gong, which is the wood venerable. And in Taoism, they are considered to be in the supreme highest position. They are the five elderlies in Taoism. So the wood sovereign of the East, the Golden Mother sovereign of the West, and then the other three, sorry, I missed those. So they're the same as the five Dhyani Buddhas in Buddhism. So the five elderlies in Taoism correspond to the five Dhyani Buddhas in Buddhism, and they are of the same position. So Golden Mother has the ability to open the third or divine eye. And she helped Grandmaster to open his divine eye at 26. And afterward, I was so accurate in the psychic reading, in the spiritual consultation, so accurate that Simu's mother heard and brought Simu to come for spiritual cultivation with me. I didn't know that Simu's mother, how many in the family, in her family, but Golden Mother told me. And in the address that they wrote, how many people in the family, how many adults, how many children, and they were guaranteed to be accurate. If you give me an address, I would know how many in the household. So the response of my spiritual cultivation, in the past, I would always check first how many men, how many women, how many siblings, how many are alive, how many are dead in your family. If they're all correct, then I would answer your questions. If it's incorrect, then I will not continue the consultation. So the people coming for spiritual cultivation would ask me, what is in my pocket? So the accuracy, I would know in your pocket was the talisman or the fu of Mazu. And sure enough, he took a fu out of his wallet. So I always check before I give the spiritual consultation. And some people ask, how much money do I have in my pocket? And then I have to do the reading right away. You know, the assistant commander, Wu Xingping, and he gave a witness at the Taiwan Lichang Temple. Now he's very old. And he gave a witness. At that time, he grabbed a handful of coins and asked me to count how many coins were there in his hand. If it is accurate, I would take refuge in you. If you made a mistake, that in the survey team you should not talk about Buddhism at all, because I thought that's like a cult. So in Penghu, he tested me. And it turned out that the city god of Penghu passed by, and so I asked him, so the city god of Penghu, please tell me how many coins were in his hand. And he told me 14. And then so the deputy commander opened his hand and he checked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and there were 4 left. And Wei Jinping said, okay, now you win, I will follow you. So he followed me. He was my follower, and he recited mantra of the Buddha and do the practice. Until now, he's still reciting Amitabha Sutra. So this is the Wei Jinping, the Wei deputy commander. He was a survey engineer in this the team, and then later on he was promoted to become commander. And at that time the commander called on my parents and told them that your son, referring to Grandmaster, that he has some mental problem. And he saw all kinds of things, and he talked about all this really weird stuff. So you should send him to the mental hospital. And so my mom and dad said, but he's still clear-minded. At home, he seemed to be normal. And his reading, because my mother was the one who brought me to the Yu Huang Temple, the Jade Emperor Temple. And my mother often asked me, so my mother knew that I was normal, but the commander and the deputy commander thought I was abnormal. And then later on, when after deputy commander tested me, he started to follow me. And there was another surveyor soldier who opened a lamp shop in Tainan. He also followed me. We did a survey of the mountain and the cliff of the mountain. So we wanted to know how deep it is. So I did the reading, and of course I forgot the exact number, but I did check. So, and then he did the measurement, and then I could check, or I could test the depth of the valley, and it was exactly the same as the reading I did. So at that time, in doing the survey, so you measure this point, and then second and third time, and then you add them up and then divide them by 3. So to take the average, then that would be the accurate answer. How tall it is, you have to measure it 3 times. Consequently, subsequently. And sometimes I don't need to measure it, and I don't need to carry all the equipments. I just did my reading. So I save all the troubles. And then in the beginning, I have to do all the measurements. But later on, there's no need to do the measurements. I just do my reading. And then I make my mark, and it was always accurate. And the maps, they all match. So you have 2 maps, and then the lines should connect. So the maps, one map and another map, all the lines should connect. If they're not connecting, then there's a problem. So normally the maps would match exactly, and the altitudes would be exactly the same. So I'm teaching you about this surveying. And the land line, the maps should connect, all the line. For all the maps, the satellite, American satellite, is taking pictures of the whole Earth. And then the pictures, piece by piece. And then you use an equipment to see that. And the mountains would rise up, and the valley would move down, and the roads and all that. So the map factories, they are changing all these maps every day. That's maps that's being used for wars. When a certain area has become a city or a water dam, so the maps are provided by America. All the pictures taken by the satellite, and the survey engineers would use like a 3D equipment so that the mountains would come up, and this is the water, the body of water, and this is the fields, and this is mountains or rivers, and they all need to come out to show up. Otherwise, at wars, and you think it is an empty field, it turned out now it is a city, and you didn't know. If you see the map wrongly, and the roads, you regard the roads as the rivers, then that would be a problem. So every day you're updating the maps. You know, our maps are made in China. So the maps of China are right in front of our eyes. Say if mainland China is creating a dam, if you don't take pictures of that, how would you know? You think it's a city there. And when the military men got there, and they thought this should be a city, how come now it's become a dam? So you could be killed. So the maps creators could be killed. So this is part of survey. But using my psychic ability, I can do the reading, the spiritual consultation. And oh, now this is This is now not a dry area. It's like a irrigated field. So there are different marks. Marks for orchards, fruit orchards, forests, fields, they're all different. And things are ever changing. So in surveying, you have to be accurate. Maps of the world are in this maps factory, not just Chinese maps. So that's our work. So I was the survey engineer officer because I studied Buddhism. Of course, I talk about Buddhism, and I was being observed for 5 years. And the commander thought that I was a spy to the communists. This person must be problematic. That's because of Golden Mother, because she opened my third eye, my divine eye. So I am clear about everything, and I could do readings. So I changed my faith. I started to become Buddhist, and I started to spread Buddhism. And the commander said that I was mad. And the officer at the maps factory said that I was a communist spy. How could I be? I am born Taiwanese. I've never been to China. But the officer was kind of silly. They don't think. I've never been to China, and I was born and raised in Taiwan. How could I be a communist spy? So I was really, and then I won a prize. I was given a prize, International Literary Youth Prize. And then the highest officer from our team called on me, and I thought I would receive a praise from him. And then when I got there, I saluted him, and he said, "So you are Seng Yen Lu, and I heard of your name. You're really famous at the maps manufacturer, whatever. And I heard that you do a lot of readings." And then immediately he said, "You know, that's not allowed in the military." He immediately turned his back on me. "I don't care whether you won the prize for the literary youth, but in our team, you know, you need to follow the rule and just do your work and look at your documents. It's that tall." They were all written by my leader in the maps manufacturer. So I was being scolded. And then when I got back to the maps manufacturer, the officer called me. "So is this Seng Yen Lu?" "Yes." "What happened?" "Oh no, because the chief commander needs a spiritual consultation with you." And then the other officers, and they all want to go to the maps manufacturers to ask for consultation from you. So this were all because of Golden Mother. They were all eating, and the chief commander and the deputy chief commander and all all the whatever admiral advisors, all the other leaders of different rankings, they all came. So I couldn't eat, and I had to do all the readings for them, and then asking for their family members and children and grandchildren, even the marriages of the grandchildren. Those were all because of Golden Mother. So Golden Mother is really accurate. 百万祥 General. So I said that this is not in the country, so I can help. And then the ones out of the country, there's no need to consult. And then when the chief of staff check on it, see it, then, oh, this is so accurate. And it's really accurate that these people that Grandmaster marked, they are not in Taiwan, they're in America. So he only did readings on those people in Taiwan, but not the ones overseas. So it was really accurate. And the translator, the interpreter wouldn't be able to translate this. She was so accurate, that she seemed to be able to eat cakes. One time I went to the altar and I saw Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and there was only one. One seated and the rest are sleeping, lying down. And they use the paper money as blankets, and they're all sleeping on the altar table. And I saw them very clearly. There was only one that we can consult. And I asked, why are they all sleeping? And then she said, because there's not much work today, so they don't need to go around, so they're sleeping. Every morning when I opened my doors, there were 300 people, like a flood coming into my home. They're in line, and there's some trying to approach Simu and said, Simu. And Simu saw, oh, that's money. Please put me first in line. At that time, in order to be first in line, you have to bribe. Ask Simu. You have to go on the table. You have to give money to Simu, and then Simu put your number in the front. There were 300 people, and have to take a number, take a card. And I would write a poem for this person that is the answer to their questions. It was so responsive, so accurate. It was the spiritual cultivation was like getting an orange from the table. It was so accurate. So accurate that the first, second, and third brothers, the Chen brothers, Master Lian Huo, Lian Si, and Lian Zu, all came for spiritual conservation, and it spread all over the world. Even the overseas Chinese went back to Taiwan for spiritual consultation. And the great auntie of California was in St. Louis, and went to Taiwan, and also someone from Houston, New York, and many other places went to Taiwan to seek me. And there are lots of overseas Chinese went back to Taiwan. It was quite a sensation all over the world. So I was talking about the accuracy of Golden Mother. She was extremely accurate. She helped me tremendously. So that's why the 2 great calamities and the 3 small calamities would be transformed and eradicated by Golden Mother. I need to ask her now if that's going to be right. So she said that it would be transformed and eradicated completely, 100%. She will help us to transform the calamities. Even when they are supposed to be calamities, they all will be transformed completely, 100%. Dexter, are you here? Oh, he's in that little room. Now let me ask you. Grandmaster has this calamity that I knew about 2 years ago. At that time, I told Dexter, I have a calamity coming up. Please find a house for me. I need to change my residence. Right? Yes, Dexter answered. And Dexter found a house for me. Because people knew where I was living, because Reverend Shenren took a lot of the visitors to come and see my home at the Phantom Lake, because he always showed it to lots of visitors. So Golden Mother told me, the next residence that you live in should never let anybody know about. And Dexter did find a house for me. Now I have moved from that house too. And that house is at the Ganshai Ridge. Very few people knew of that house. Because I knew that there is a calamity coming at that time, and Golden Mother told me that you should not let anybody know of your residence. And Golden Mother told me, in order to avoid the calamities, you need to announce your retreat. You need to go to Tahiti. She told me to go to Tahiti. At that time, I didn't even know where Tahiti is. So you go to Tahiti and take pictures with the pigs and then send it back to the True Buddha newspaper, and then let the True Buddha News to publish that you're in Tahiti. So I followed her instruction, her advice, and I flew to Hawaii and then took another 4-hour flight to Tahiti. It turned out to be a French territory. So I took pictures with the pigs, because the pork's main meals, in Tahiti, and told me to open a pig's farm there. So I did have photos taken, and it was published in the True Buddha News. So I said that I want to open a pig's farm there. That was the advice from Golden Mother. So this is a tactique, to avoid the calamity. So Golden Mother told me that you have to go to Tahiti. And Golden Mother told me to move my residence 2 years before. And Simu said, why are you in such of a rush that you have to move right away? Yes, I said, we have to move right away. And she was in no rush, but I was. Right? Yes. So Golden Mother was truly incredible. She's really incredible. She knew everything ahead of time. She knew the future. So she told me how to avoid the calamity. So Golden Mother would help me resolve this problems. Now I have peace of mind. In the future, when you have any calamities, please shoulder it from me, for me. Whether 2 great calamities or 3 small calamities, are you talking about my calamities or other people's calamities? Or calamities, great calamities that happen in the world? Not mine. Please say it clearly, and you're going to eradicate them. That's wonderful. Sorry. So now we talk about the Great Perfection Dharma, the Dzogchen Trekcho. The Tibetan word trekcho means stopping or cutting immediately and thoroughly, and that means the intrinsic original true purity. Guru Padmasambhava said that a truly and ultimately enlightened one is free of any contaminations, has no comings and no goings, and he is completely pure. This is the intrinsic original true purity of the Dharma body, and it is called the intrinsic purity. Intrinsic purity does not mean practicing the stopping and seeing. It is not in the practice of meditation without thoughts. It is especially not in the 4 meditations and 8 stabilizations, neither in the Zen koans. Also not in the contemplation of who is this person reciting the Buddha. Fruits in the intrinsic purity means great perfection. All phenomena, its rights and wrongs, are cut off completely and thoroughly. The intrinsic purity in its true face will naturally appear. So this is talking about the Buddha nature. Why? As soon as people are born, they have to suffer from disasters. Or afterwards. That's because of past lives. Because we have lots of karma from past lives. And also in this life, what you do, what you think, all your behaviors, and the speech that you make would cover up all the intrinsic purity. So that's why I recommend all of you to never lie. You always speak the truth. If you tell lies, that would be speech karma, and it would cover. It is easiest to breach the karma of the speech and of the body, to create the karma of this body, the speech, and the mind. And these 3 were originally pure. But as soon as a human being is born, you become very complex and becomes more complicated in the society. And then you're creating lots of karma. So the original true purity will not appear. Why? Because you have too many running thoughts. You think too much. You want to have money, you want to have beautiful wives, and you want to have a windfall of fortunes, or you want to get promoted, and in your mind you have lots of grants, lots of stuff. That there are lots of sects in the world. That you can train in throwing the darts, that sometimes it's just kind of barely barely cut your skin and you're already poisoned that way. So the society is truly poisonous. You know, the world is really chaotic. You know, even between countries, you know, they have lots of this cunning, shrewd, covert, you know, happenings or actions. You think everything is in the open, but that's not the case. There are a lot of things that's covered, covetous. So as a human being, it's really difficult to be a gentleman, to be a virtuous person. But as Buddhists, we have to have good and clear conscience. And we have to do goods. Only then you would have good karma. Because the human world is really dirty pots of pickling. And the more you find out, the dirtier it gets. So you need to purify yourself. You need to purify your body, your speech or your mouth, and your mind, your thoughts. Only this way the pure Buddha nature will appear. That's the true meaning of purity. So spiritual cultivators are different from mundane people. Men, when they're young, they're like barrels of rice, and then they're barrels of wines, and then they're barrels of pea. When they're young, they're just running around women, and at middle age, they're running around lovers, and then at old age, they're running around the parks. Talking about barrels, when they're young, they're barrels of rice, in the middle age, barrels of wines, and in the old age, barrels of pea, of pills. You know, when you're old, you need to take pills for hypertension, for blood sugar, for the lipids, to protect the hearts, to protect the kidneys, the lungs and the liver. So you need to take, in Chinese it's like, meaning you need to take 7 pills a day. How could that be? Because you have grave and heavy karma. So the good cares. When you go out, please be careful. And then in dating, this is also playfuls of Chinese that has to do with hearts. Giving your heart, that, you know, happy, which means like open heart. But in reality, life is not so beautiful like that. It's not so ideal like that. It's the opposite. You know, the gossips and false rumors are spoken by those who despise me and was spread by the stupid people, and then by those mentally retarded people treat it as true. So how many people can see the truth? People only recognize the false. The news that you get is from the internet or from the media, televisions, reportings. Did you ever get in contact with them? No. You just believe what you hear. So you're mentally retarded, right? Actually, human beings are all mentally retarded. There's a master that did a reading on a lady, and the more readings he did, the more serious he get. And the lady asked, "Oh, what did you read?" And the lady said, I've been in this work for 40 years and this is the first time I meet you. And the lady asked, so really, please tell me what happens. What did you see? And the master said, you know, I couldn't touch the bone, I only touched all the flesh. So we just like, you know, reading on the bones. So what we see are actually superficial, only on the surface. But actually the true face is, are you really pure in your body, speech and mind? When you get home, you should be like Confucius. You should be introspective of yourself. Do you have the proper thoughts? Do you say the wrong things? Do you create bad karma? And did you affiliate yourself with someone? You know, basically you team up with someone to say something bad. Actually what you say is wrong. So did your body breach, create the bad karma? So every one of us should be introspective of ourselves. Have you purified your body, speech and mind? When someone is healthy, you have lots of dreams. When someone is really sick, he only has one dream. And his dream is to get better. And the rest are unimportant. So that's why health is really important. So we should place health as number one. So that's true words. When you're really sick, in bed, you don't want any money or houses or cars or people. You may not want anything. You just wish that you would get better. What is the most important thing? Is purity. In order to have attainment in your spiritual cultivation, you need to be pure and none others. So what is the most important is purity. As spiritual cultivators or sadhaka, it is most important to be pure. So I'm talking about the intrinsic purity, that originally it has been pure. But why are you like this now? Because you're impure. You're not pure. Is that when I was young, I had a romance that's like a storm, and we said, oh, I'm so envious of you. And there is that. But that romantic love ended in a grave injury. And then B said, what happened? Did she leave you? And then B answered, no, because she married me. So anything that happens is not something that you imagine. You know, you think it's a good marriage. Oh my God, that's your disaster coming. Now you're married to a tiger. If you're not riding on a tiger, you're married to the tigress. So what is truth? Buddha said, the Tao, the way, is the truth. Purity is the truth. The rest are false. The husband, after taking care of all things, sighed. What kind of a day is this? And the wife asked, what happens? Aren't you the boss in everything at home? And the husband replied, how come? What am I in control of? And the wife said, You know, you sweep the floor as you like, and you wash the clothes whenever you want, and you cook whatever you want. So aren't you in charge? So there are issues within a family, problems in a society, problems in the country. It would make you really afflicted. And then how do you avoid them all? It's best to become monks or nuns. You have problems at your home. Lots of people do. They told me this and that. Oh, my husband is gambling. My husband is like a playboy, the woman said. And then the husband said, oh, there are so many troubles at home. You know? There are lots of difficulties. As single people, they also have problems. And the communities too also have problems. In your neighborhood, you know, even countries also have problems. How do you free yourself of the problems? Just be ordained and go deep into the mountains and cultivate spiritually. Mom got out of the house and wrote on the whiteboard that everyone should take care of the housework. And the sisters saw the note and then took the pen and instead of everyone, they changed it to adults. And when the dad, before leaving it, it becomes the housework should be done by the wife. In Chinese characters, they were just with one stroke. And then he added 2 more strokes, it becomes the beauty should do the housework. And when the mom got home, she gladly do all the housework. See, if you say something nice, everyone would do works for you. So this makes sense. Why don't we say something nice? Why do we always say unpleasant words? So Grandmaster thinks everyone should avoid the unpleasant words. That's also karma. There are lots of karma that we create ourselves. So at least we should create just the good karma and not the bad karma. And then gradually you would become a good person, become a gentleman, and then later on becomes a sage and a bodhisattva. And then eventually you would become a Buddha. So you go step by step. But first we need to be introspective of ourselves, whether your body, speech and mind are pure already. This is the key point. And in my next Dharma teaching, I will teach you how to purify your body, speech and mind. The convenient way to have pure body, speech and mind. Om Mani Padme Hum.